everything, and I'll retweet it if you can hear me right now.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hey, this is your boy JC from JC Sports Talk, and today I have with me a special guest from the Washington Commanders himself. So, without further ado, let's bring him on. What is going on, George?
What's up, JC, man? Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Hey, look, thank you for coming on, man. Look, I know this time, hey, we've been trying to come on and trying to do something, but hey, life gets in the way, draft gets in the way, everything gets in the way. But hey, we finally here. So hey, so how have your off season been so far?
It's been good, man. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate you talking. I said earlier in my tweet, I said the Eagles fans, man. People always kind of hate on Eagles fans and saying they're kind of like vile and crazy, but like
What?
I mean, you know that for real. But at the same time, it's like some of the coolest people I met on the internet have been through the Eagles fans, man. So I'll always jump on your podcast. And yeah, man. In terms of the Washington's offseason, it's been all right, man. I'm actually I feel like it's been kind of a lackluster offseason. It's kind of been like meat and potatoes, like just doing the right thing and filling gaps here or there. And basically, our draft is kind of the same way. So I don't know if you want me to deep dive into it right now, but that's kind of my overall perspective on it.
So what we want to talk. All right. So before we go into the offseason, I know something before happened. I think it was like 2/22/22. It was like the big reveal of the name change. Like we all, I mean, there was polls on Twitter. Hey, what's the name is going to be? Commanders, Generals, whatever it was. But it turned out to be Commanders. How do you feel about the new name change? And do you feel they'll bring more fans? Y'all get your old fans back. Y'all get some new fans. Was the whole name change like a turn of a new regime as far as trying to take the stain off the Redskins name or what?
So, whole bunch of things, right? So, for one, we had a 2-year kind of like window of being the Washington football team. So there was a transition.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm as cool with a bunch of people. Like, I've been writing for the team for a long time. I just know people, and the Commanders name, we kind of like a small group of us kind of knew it was going to be Commanders about a year ago before they actually dropped the name. And it was almost kind of like we were like 99% sure, but we were kind of afraid to put our stamp on it and kind of talk trash like we knew what it was. And like basically a bunch of us kind of like we kind of knew where it was going. Like there was like a bunch of us Commanders, bunch of us like Sentinels. We kind of wanted that Army military name. There was a big group of people that wanted Red Wolves as the team name as well. They kind of talked about that. Commanders altogether, I mean, it's all right. I think it's kind of like a bland, generic, like National Football League name. Like, it's like Dolphins, Jets, so just throw it there. It's not going to get you in trouble PC wise. It's all good. But I like the fact that I think it brings like a toughness to the team, kind of like a military based. I think it does represent the area. We have Arlington National Cemetery here. We have the Naval Army, Naval Base in Maryland. We have all this military, era around here. So it kind of does make sense. In regard to the names, like I'll give like a C, B minus, something like that. That's an average name. But in regard to like the product, I'm kind of feeling it, man. Like I think if you look over here, like the W's kind of hard. I think their jerseys are pretty cool. I have dark features. Like I have a black beard, black hair. Like I like the black gear. So we got a lot of more black gear now, black jerseys coming out. So I'm kind of feeling the rebrand altogether. And just being in the DMV, I live like 20 minutes from the stadium. I live 20 minutes from DC. We were starting to, we're political around here, man. You'd hear people like, Redskins was derogatory and some bad things. And it's like the casual, there's diehard fans that are going to root the team regardless, right? But the casual fans were like, it's not cool. They wouldn't go to the game because they don't want to be viewed in a negative light. So we're kind of losing energy behind the team. So I think it was time for a change. I'm not mad at it. I think it's going to be kind of cool. There might be some bumps along the road the first year, but moving forward, I think it'll be kind of nice. And Our jerseys, our helmets are ridiculous. I don't know if you've seen them yet. They're cool, man. People are gonna hate on them, like, oh, it's just a W, but like that helmet right behind you, man, that burgundy helmet. I've seen it in person. It's matte. It's matte. It's iridescent, which means like when the sun hits it, it's different colors. It's a fresh helmet, man. So I'm pretty pumped with it. So I'm ready for a new era, man. I'm like, we need to kind of wash away the Redskins. Hopefully Dan Slater leaves at some point, and then our team will be all right.
That ain't never happening.
I know, man. I know, but that's kind of where we're sitting at right now.
But I like the uniforms though. I really think that a lot of people had issue with the name, the Washington Commanders. So how are the fans that, have you talked to a lot of people that's like, hey, we love it, oh, we hate it? Like, what's the average fan is saying about the new name change?
It's all over the place, man. I think the general reaction was like, oh man, they were kind of disappointed with the name drop. They're like, oh, Commanders, like that's like what Commanders, what are we commanding? You know what I'm saying? Or what's the big
take command, hashtag take command.
Take command. It's like, and the big thing is the nickname, right? Like we don't have a nickname. Like Eagles, the Birds, or whatever. Like, what are we, the C's for Commanders, the Manders? Like it's kind of hard to kind of find that nickname right now. We're trying to figure that out. People drop commies and like, oh, we're trying to be funny about that or whatever. Like, I don't even care, man. Whatever. We'll figure it out. But there is a division, man. I'll tell you what, like out of all the hate I get all off season and all like, I see that I'm not answering in a second. Out of all like the different, all the hate that I get on Twitter, most of it comes from our own fan base, man. It's just like, oh, the Redskins are dead, so I'm dead as a fan, and I hate everybody. We kind of catch all of that, and people are like really like stamping it's an expansion team, so people kind of feel that direction. But I'm like, dude, I don't feel that way. I root for the first name. I'm a Washingtonian, so I root for Washington, the team, whatever the hell it is. Like Washington Rainbow Warriors, I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? But people are like, because it's like out of state, people have issues. The people that live like out west, like, oh, it's no longer Redskins, so I feel disconnected. But I'm a Washingtonian, man. I'm gonna root for my team. It's kind of where I'm at.
Look, I live in the DMV. I live in a Woodbridge. So I don't know if you know where it's at, but I am going to the game. I can't wait for week 3. I will be there, and I want to see, because every time you have a home game, there's actually more opposite fans that's in y'all stadium. So I'm curious to see what this name change with the new uniform, your new quarterback. So let's see if y'all stadium could turn actually to a home field advantage instead of a regular stadium. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see it. So I would definitely be at that game.
We need that NFC East rivalry again. I think it's going to be. Hopefully there's some good energy. I don't know. We'll talk about schedule later on. That's on our agenda, but like we open up with Jacksonville and Detroit. So in theory, those are legitimately those are the 2 worst teams in the entire NFL last year, right? So I mean, they got better, but I'm saying they were legit number 1, number 2 pick. If we start off 2-0, coming in 3-0 against Philadelphia, that'd be a pretty fun game, man. That'd be pretty cool. So
that's gonna be a sold out game, game, and it's Carson Wentz first time playing Philly. I mean, it's going to be a good game, and I can't wait to see it. So, so as far as your off season, like what free agents that you was hoping that your team went after? What free agents that they got rid of? I know Collins is still on the market, so I don't know. Like all y'all signings and stuff like that. So, what kind of moves y'all did this offseason to help your team get better?
I think that was kind of like an area of angst for our fans, man. I feel like we wanted to be more aggressive and not, talking to Eagles fans, talking to Cowboys fans. A lot of us kind of were like wait and see approach. We kind of saw that like we didn't really be as aggressive as we wanted to. The areas of need for our team were linebacker. We needed to get a linebacker. We needed to get guards. And then we have this package called Buffalo Nickel. I don't know if you guys talk about it a lot in the Eagles world. But Buffalo Nickel, basically, you play 3 safeties, and your safety plays like as a nickel corner, but he's big enough to play in run support, right? So that's basically I'll answer that in a second too, Anthony. But basically, that's why Landon Collins was so valuable, basically because he was at Buffalo nickel position, but he wasn't that good in coverage. So we're trying to find that like mixed bag. So considering that, Tyrann Mathieu, I know you guys were interested in him too. We really wanted him. Bobby Wagner was on our agenda. We were kind of looking at him too. But basically, I think because, Carson Wentz, and we'll talk about him later on, we went from having like $40 million in cap space to we ate that whole $28 million, dropping it down about $12 million. So we didn't really have a lot of money to spend. So we kind of went like, grocery shopping in the discount aisle, and we basically picked up two solid guards. We got Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner. They both played for Ron Rivera in the Panthers a couple of years ago, and I think Andrew Norwell was an All-Pro a couple of years ago in 2018 or something like that, and Trey Turner has been a Pro Bowl guard. So we got we built some depth. We didn't really go high end in regard to our free agents.
So as far as Collins go, I mean, I heard rumors that y'all might bring him back. I don't know if he's interested in coming back. So what are your thoughts about that? I mean, have you heard anything?
I like Collins. So basically what I'm hearing, just through the grapevine, is that the door's open. It's not closed at all. He's designated for a June 1st cut, basically post June 1st cut to basically free up money. We get $12 million more if he basically gets cut. And essentially, he accepted one pay cut. He was supposed to get $16 million this year. He took one pay cut. We never really heard the terms of the agreement. And then they offered basically after we got Carson Wentz, we're like, can you do another pay cut? And he's a very prideful guy. I don't know if you caught that about him. He's very prideful. And he basically was like, I'm not taking another pay cut. Cut me is basically what it was coming down to. So we're like, all right. So
wait, Carson Wentz said that or Collins?
No, Collins. Landon Collins.
Oh, okay.
Collins.
Yeah.
So Landon Collins is a very prideful guy. So basically and the issue for Eagle World is basically last year, he's Landon Collins was I'm a safety. He was very adamant about being a safety. And Jack Del Rio wanted him to be a linebacker, this Buffalo nickel I'm telling you about week one. They're dude, we don't think you are a deep safety anymore. We don't think he's a box safety, right? We don't think you're a deep safety anymore. Yeah. And he basically was he kind of refused to play it. And they kind of were trying to work with him because of the contract and try to get him on the field, and it wasn't working. And then halfway through the year, they put him in that Buffalo nickel, that linebacker, weak side linebacker kind of position. He started to ball out. Landon Collins started to become the guy we thought he would be. And I was I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back. And I think it's on the table, but I think we're kind of we're trying to figure it out. We got a good 4th round pick named Percy Butler. We'll talk about him later. He's actually pretty fast. He can play that Buffalo nickel position, and then maybe Collins will come back. We'll see what's up. I'm not sure.
So as far as the offseason moves, are y'all done making offseason moves? As far as anybody out there in the free agent that's still left over?
I think we're still looking for a linebacker. Ron Rivera is very transparent. Definitely all you Eagles fans, listen to Ron Rivera. He has no poker face at all. He's I want a quarterback, and he gets Carson Wentz. He's I want to get a wide receiver. We drafted wide receiver in the first round. He said he wants a linebacker, so we're gonna get a linebacker somehow. I just don't know who it's going to be. I suspect it might be AJ Klein. AJ Klein played for the we call it's kind of a little inside joke in DC. We call our team the Commandthers because we're we just keep on getting Panthers to join our
Panthers.
Team. So basically, AJ Klein played for the Panthers a couple years ago. He might be on the table. I mean, I think you guys might be interested in this guy too, James Bradbury. Man, he might be on the table. He might be
absolutely
on the table for us. Yeah, Commandthers, so he might come our way. And then basically, there's a Broncos linebacker. I think it's Alex Johnson or AJ Johnson. He's a pretty good run stopper. He's a 30-year-old guy, and we're kind of talking about him too. So he might be on the table for us. So. So Blake Martinez from the Giants has been kind of thrown around a little bit too. So linebacker,
that's a solid guy.
So linebacker and cornerback are still on the table. So I suspect, I think for us moving forward, it's going to be linebacker, cornerback, big Terry McLaurin signing. We'll talk about that later on, and then maybe Collins. I think that's going to be that's what we're going to see moving forward till September.
Look. As far as the Eagles offseason move, the only piece. We started off with our weakness was linebacker. It seems like that every team, if you don't have that linebacker, if you can't stop the run, if you ain't got that dog, a Micah Parsons, right? Every team is trying to get them a Micah Parsons because for some odd reason the Cowboys was always on national TV. So Micah Parsons was always popping out, and every team, regardless if it was a fan or not, it was dang, we need a Micah Parsons. So now linebacker has become hey, we need that hybrid linebacker, the one that could go, sack the quarterback, play the run, be a traditional linebacker, all 3-4 downs. So I feel the Eagles went out. They signed Hassan Reddick, which was their number one target.
He's an edge rusher too, so that's pretty legit, and he can cover. He's actually pretty solid. Yeah, I agree with
that. Facts. Because the past couple of years, he had 23 sacks the past couple of years. So that's pretty good. I mean, any linebacker that's giving you double-digit sacks, he's worth it. So we got Hassan Reddick, and then we went out and got this the leading tackler for the Chargers, and Kaiser White. He's another linebacker.
And he's like a mobile guy too. He's more of a coverage linebacker too, right?
He is.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yes, so he is. So he led the team in 140 something plus tackles last year, and we got him for like $5 million, like a 1-year deal. So I mean, look, it is what it is. So we like the Eagles' main focus was going into this offseason, focusing on two things: linebacker and wide receiver. And then throughout the whole offseason, we've been rumored to being linked to Calvin Ridley before he got suspended.
Yeah.
You know, the Falcons, look, they did a solid because they had a deal in place with the Eagles to send Calvin Ridley to Philly, but they knew that something was going to come down, so they didn't want to do the Eagles dirty, so they just say, hey, nah, and never mind. So ever since then, we've been linked to every available free agent wide receiver, like Allen Robinson, Mike Williams. It didn't matter, Christian Kirk. I mean, everybody else available, we was linked to.
It's so funny how like y'all had a very parallel offseason to us. Like we were linked to a lot of wide receivers. We were linked to a lot of linebackers too. Just funny how it works out. And it's funny how you guys invested so much in wide receivers and you guys are still in the need. Like Washington hasn't. Like I think our last. So we took a first round pick. I don't know if you remember Josh Doxson, like in 2016.
Yeah.
We got him from TCU.
Yeah,
we got him in 2016, and our last number 1 overall pick in the first round was 2002. So Washington, like we only spent 2 years over 20 years, 2 first round picks of wide receivers. So it was about time for us to finally invest. But like it's kind of like the opposite of you guys. I feel like you guys are constantly investing in.
Man,
yeah, it's wild, man.
Look,
maybe that's why you guys wanted a proven guy this time in AJ Brown, right? So it makes sense.
Well, you know, and throughout the draft, we got AJ Brown. I'm going to talk about that. But at the same time, it seemed like that Howie Roseman was so bad at drafting wide receivers. I mean, they're just Eagles are bad in early draft picks, but they're good in like 6th round, the 5th round, 3rd round, because that's too much pressure for them. Like the first round is like the money round. It's like, man, you can mess it up and they overthink it. And that's how we got messed up with the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor the year before last. And then we got JJ Arcega-Whiteside instead of DK. We got Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson was right there. We got Reagor. So it just seemed like something wasn't clicking. But the past couple years, in the draft, we got Devontae Smith. And of course, this year we traded for AJ Brown. So our offseason was linebacker and wide receiver. And so far, we have adjusted both. But there's still one thing out there, Bradbury. We all we was linked to Tyrann Matthew, of course, because we do need a safety. But I feel like if you have 2 solid DBs, a front 7 that can constantly get to the quarterback, I mean, the safety is okay. Like you could wait till next year or a good deal to come around to get a safety. But that that CB2 is important, especially if they're gonna be picking on that side, you know what I mean? So
sure.
But that's how our season went. We try to focus on the what we needed, and we succeeded. So far, but we still got that hole at CB2. So you said linebacker, right? Linebacker and safety.
Linebacker, safety, linebacker, safety are still our needs. Yep.
So who's y'all 2 DBs?
So our 2 safeties right now, we have Bobby Mccain, who basically he came from Miami. He's pretty solid. He's like he was a captain of Miami. He's like a solid starter is what he is. He got 4 interceptions last year. He has some nickel versatility, so he's pretty solid in regard to that. But and he can play a free safety, like a deep center. So he can do that, but he's not like a dynamic player. He's the guy that doesn't mess up. So that's we have him there. And then our box safety, our strong safety is Cameron Curl. And he's like, I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yeah, he's good. Oh,
he's good.
He is good.
Yeah, so Cameron Curl's he was our diamond in the rough. We got him in the
last year was his best year. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's just good altogether. He had a good rookie year. We drafted him in the 6th round. No one really knew who he was. And then week 1, he was on the field. And then basically he played that Buffalo nickel role. And what was interesting about his whole dynamic in DC was we were paying Landon Collins $16-17 million to play. Cameron Curl was better than him as a rookie. Now it's kind of like, what do we do? So we basically started to be creative on how to use him. And he's actually he's solid. like he's one of our like core players. Like, we have John Allen, we have Deron Payne, we have Chase and Sweat, we have all those guys, and Cameron Curl's right there. So like he's kind of our young building block. So solid. And then linebacker, we only have two. We only really have two, to be honest with you. That's kind of the scary part. We have Cole Holcomb, who was like a linebacker from North Carolina. He's pretty solid. He's like a speed coverage kind of linebacker, but he's kind of like a fan favorite. And then we have Jamin Davis, who was like a first round pick last year, but it's kind of a reach. I don't know if you ever followed him or like you guys were looking at linebackers last year, but Jamin Davis was a Kentucky linebacker. He's like a height, weight, speed guy. He's like a 4'3", legit like 4'3", 4'4" linebacker. Like he can, he was a late riser. Like he went to Kentucky. I think he started one season, like his junior year or something like that, and like was supposed to be a second round pick, and we drafted him in the first round. And it's kind of like he can do it, but it's like he's not developed yet. Like he's still raw. And it was like last year was a disappointment for him, honestly. So he needs to step up a little bit.
So who's y'all two DBs?
Oh, our actual cornerbacks, you mean, right?
Yeah,
so we have our quarterbacks are all right. So we have William Jackson III. I don't know if you know who that is. He basically was an awesome standout for the Bengals. He was like a Pro Bowler for the Bengals. We got him. He came over to Washington last year. We have Kendall Fuller, who basically we drafted him. He went to Kansas City and then came back to us. I'd say like for real. Like I'd say like William Jackson on paper is like a B plus. Like he's supposed to be like a really like a shutdown man corner. Kendall Fuller is more like a B minus. And then we have Benjamin St-Juste, who basically he was a rookie last year. He's like a 6'3" corner, and he was kind of like doing pretty good as a rookie, but then he got a concussion, and he has histories of concussions in DC, over college and now, so kind of worried about him. So our DBs are like solid, but it's like, let's say we get Bradbury. It's like you have Bradbury. If you have Bradbury and William Jackson on the outside, and then you bump, Kendall Fuller as a nickel, that's a pretty solid combination.
Yeah. All right. So look, hey, let's get to the meat and the potatoes. All right.
Yeah.
So Carson Wentz, right? Carson Wentz, in the past couple of years, he's been traded twice. Like he literally went from Philly to his dream scenario. All right. He was begging, hey, let me go to Frank Wright. I had my best year under him. And let me go to the Colts, a run first team, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't do bad, right? Because they were the number one rushing team. But at the same time, he did a lot of stupid mistakes that caused him to lose a couple games. So now he gets traded to Washington Commanders, right? So what is your thought on Carson Wentz coming to the Commanders, and how did you feel about him before he became a Commander? Because I got a lot of Washington fans was like, Carson stinks, Carson sucks, and now he's a Commander. Yeah, Carson, we believe in Carson. Yeah, Carson, we So your thoughts on him before he got traded to y'all, and now since he's with y'all now?
All right, so let me break it all down. So basically, when he was on the Eagles, I hated on him pretty damn hard. I'm not gonna lie. Why would I root for him on the Eagles? One of my best friends is the Eagles fan, just runs his mouth all the time. So I was like, when he had his demise, I was rooting for that, because I thought he was the truth. I thought he was going to be like that MVP year. I was like, dude, he's gonna be a problem for a couple of years. So when he started going down at that 50 sack year, I'm like, all right, like he's gonna wash out. So that's good for us. You guys are gonna kind of be like in that QB cycle that we're in, right? Yeah. So that's how I thought about Wentz. He went to the Colts. You respected him, like when you went over to the Colts, you're like they're going to be a Pro Bowl. It's not a Pro Bowl. They're going to be a playoff team, right? They're going to be like he's going to win 9-10 games in the Colts, right? It's kind of what you expected for him to be. You didn't think he was going to be like like he wasn't going to be Patrick Mahomes, but he wasn't going to be like he's going to be right there 10, 15, that quarterback in that range, right? It was surprising. We're both NFL guys. It was surprising. I remember like. There was one game like week 11, 12 where like he had both of his ankles taped up and he couldn't move. And it was like, this guy's done. It was kind of crazy watching it. I was like, dude, like they're like actively not letting him throw the ball. And it was pretty wild watching that. And I was like, damn, this guy's washed up. Like I had no idea. But then, as the offseason kind of played out, like I kind of looked at it at tiers. Like quarterback was the biggest issue for us, like going into this offseason, right? So it was like, what were we gonna do? Like, we had pipe dreams, like Aaron Rodgers, like
Russell Wilson,
Russell Wilson. Like we were Derek Carr, like and Derek Carr's gonna spring loose. We had all these kind of dreams.
Jimmy G is still out there.
He is. Like so basically, like we made a pitch for Derek. We made a pitch for Russell Wilson. We went hard for Matt Stafford last year. We went hard for Russell Wilson this year. So you can't hate on Ron Rivera for trying. But basically, what happened was I think what was devastating was like Russell Wilson. Like the way it went down was like Monday. Seattle was like, we're not trading Russell Wilson. Okay. And then Tuesday, they traded Russell Wilson. It's kind of like in our face. And then Wednesday, basically, we had Carson Wentz. So it was like we had Russell Wilson and then Carson Wentz. Like, that's kind of how it felt, right? That's my boy, Adam. What's up, Adam? How you doing, bro? But basically, I'll be honest with you. I thought that Carson Wentz was the best of that second tier. I'm not even being funny. Like, it was like after Aaron Rodgers, after Russell Wilson, after Derek Carr, the next wave was Mariota, Winston, Trubisky, Garoppolo, all those guys. And I honestly thought that Wentz was better than all of them. I thought he was the top of the second tier. And then after I actually, I watch film and I'm into this kind of stuff. So I was watching all the games and I watched every snap of last year. Coming to Washington, he's going to be the best quarterback we've had since Kirk Cousins, man. Like, I know that might be I think so, man. Like, if you look at our quarterbacks, we had Dwayne Haskins, we had Alex Smith, we had Tyler Heineke, we had who else do we have? We had
Case Keenum, right?
Case Keenum 1 year. I mean, think about that. We're coming from that, so it's like we're actually. This is like, thank God we got Carson Wentz. This is kind of where we're at. What's up, Nina? I mean, that's how we're feeling, and it's like. Physically, he can do anything that we want. Like I watch him. He can launch the ball. He can scramble. Yeah. He got a rocket. He can make the throws that we couldn't do. Like Taylor Heineke was our quarterback last year, and we liked him because he was like he had moxie and he fought and he basically could do. Like, you could tell he was like diving for the third downs, getting crushed. Like, but he was too small. Wentz, I believe he can do everything. I'm just afraid that he kind of has that Kirk Cousins in him where it's like primetime games he's going to wash out. He's going to have some bad picks and all that kind of stuff. But like, hopefully he's just not an idiot. And hopefully he just kind of like minimizes that. And I also hope that between all of our, like, we really invested with our, around like, the assets around him. Like, we have pretty good weapons. We have Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, who I know you like. We have Logan Thomas, who's a pretty good tight end. Antonio Gibson, we drafted the Alabama running back. So I mean, we have if he doesn't do well this year, his career is like, he's in an optimal situation. So it's time for him to shine. It's either get in or get out. You're either going to be a starting quarterback for 5-10 more years, or you're going to be a very good backup in the NFL. It's going to happen. He hasn't figured it out.
So do you feel like it's still an open competition going into this, because y'all did draft a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder, somehow. Y'all still got Heineke on the roster still, and then who's the other guy? Y'all
guys have Cole Kelly. He's like basically like a late round. Either he's an undrafted free agent or a seventh round pick or something, like 6'5". He's a height, weight, speed guy, but like I think he's a camp arms to kind of rotate and stuff. That's all. I don't think he's doing anything real big picture for him.
All right. So with Heineke and your fifth round draft pick, so do you feel like that Carson Wentz could possibly not even start the season, or did y'all invest too much? Y'all did give up 2/3 to get him, So I mean, do you feel like that this is his job? Hey, this is your job. Hey, no matter what you do in training camp, this is your job because we did give up two, third rounds for you, or is it an open competition?
I think, remember, Ron Rivera doesn't lie, right? Ron Rivera has no poker face. Ron Rivera basically said that Carson Wentz is going to be our unquestioned starter, and I believe him, right? I think it's going to roll out. I think I don't know how I'm sure you guys have followed it pretty heavily, but I think the deal's great. Like, I think getting him, we traded 2 third-round picks, which, that might not sound too appealing, but we actually traded back on the draft. And we'll talk about that later. But we traded back from 11 to 16 in the first round, and we recouped that third-round pick. So really, we only spent 1 third-round pick on Carson Wentz, right? So that's a pretty low investment. And honestly, Brennan Sheriff left this year, and he was a compensatory pick, so we're going to get a third-round pick next year. So, honestly, the investment into Carson Wentz wasn't really that bad. I think he's going to be the unquestioned starter. I think Washington's going to give him the best shot. After this year, we can cut him outright, and there's no dead money cap hit because that's the way the contract's set up. And we actually have him for it's a really good contract for us. We either cut him unquestioned this year, if he completely bottoms out, dude, you're out. That's it. We just cut him, and we get $28 million next year on our cap, and we're good again, right? Or we have him for 28, 27, $26 million for the next 3 years. And that's actually pretty good money. If you look at like Dax Prescott, $40 million, and even like Deshaun Watson, $45 million. Like getting him at 26 really isn't that bad of a deal. So it is kind of flexible. I think we are going to start. I think he starts throughout the rest of the year. Ron Rivera is a loyal guy. I think the only time he basically would be replaces if he gets hurt, which that happens with him.
I mean, he got to be loyal because then he put Alex Smith out there. Like, yo, I was holding my breath every time.
Every single time.
I was like, yo, you gotta be loyal, man. If you're gonna put a one-legged man out there,
Rivera's loyal, man. Heineke last year really wasn't that great either, but like Rivera is the kind of guy he's a character guy where it's kind of like, even if you're underperforming, he's not going to undercut you because he doesn't want to ruin with your psyche, which is a pro and a con, but I don't think he's going to take him out. Anthony, I see, and I'll answer this one now. Like Sam Howell, Sam Howell, I think is actually a pretty good. He's a pretty good quarterback, but I don't think he's ready yet. I think it's kind of overrated. Like I think Sam Howell. Well, this is what it is. I guess my honest assessment. Sam Howell has that, like what we like with our quarterbacks in DC is like a fast twitch, kind of like a quick release kind of quarterback. So he can do those quick slants. He's intelligent enough, and he has the physical tools to hit those short slants and can do those throws. He has a good deep ball as well. He likes to run, but he can't. He's not Malik Willis. He's not like a Lamar Jackson. He's a fast runner in college, but he's gonna get freaking crushed in the NFL. He's not gonna run in the NFL. And the UNC runs a very basic remedial offense. So I don't think they're going to I think he's when I say overrated, he's not ready yet because the transition is going to be a big steep curve. Like UNC is kind of like a, one read, I'm looking at number one. If he's not there, I'm going to the other side and that's it. Like he's not ready for the NFL. I'm not saying he's a dumb guy, but it's just more complex. It's going to take some time. He's like a year or two away. So I think maybe next year, he'll be a guy. I think if Wentz goes down, Heineke is going to be the guy. Or maybe if our team flushes out, maybe week 14's our bye, they might do Howell the last 4 games of the year to kind of just see what we have in the next year, something like that.
All right, so I know we're going to talk about the whole schedule thing a little bit later, but did you hear a Carson Wentz interview? About facing the Eagles.
I did, but I'll hear it again. Let's do it.
So this is about 23 seconds. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, shoot, it's muted. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me go back.
I know that'll be a big game. A lot of emotions. I'm sure fans will eat that one up, and it'll be fun and make for a good storyline. But at the end of the day, it's going to be just another ball game.
Look how confident he is. He's ready for this game.
When that one comes. So
that's confident to you.
I'm trying not to get too excited for that one because again, it's just football and can't press, can't do too much.
Hey, look, all right. So this looked like a game to me. Hold on, real quick. This is like the game against the Eagles is a game where Carson Wentz is like a 4 interception game. Like to me,
worry about that. We'll see. Yeah.
Like we know Carson Wentz when he get like so excited for a game, like he be trying to throw play hero ball, and that's the difference between Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, right? When Nick Foles took over, doing our little Super Bowl run, right? He took over with him saying, you know what, I'm not as athletic as Carson Wentz, I can't escape the pocket. So the only thing he could do is listen to the coaches, trust, the play that is being called and deliver the ball. But Carson Wentz, his last year in Philly, you see plenty of times where he always second guess himself. Like he don't trust the coach that's calling the plays. And that's how it'll get either batted down, turnover. So, with that being said, do you feel, because you've seen Carson Wentz play in the division, and do you feel like that he can go back to the 2017 Carson Wentz, or that is far behind him and he's basically the past couple of years, what you see is what you get?
I don't think he needs to be the 2017 Carson Wentz. I don't think he needs to be that. I think with Washington, Washington, there's a lot of ifs, and if all the ifs hit, we're going to be a good team. That's what it comes down to, right? So basically, like our defense was really underperformed. Over last year, we have a pretty solid defensive line and things like that. And with all of our weapons, he just needs to be a distributor. That's all we really have to do. It's just hilarious. Adam's so stupid. And basically, I don't need I was looking at it, right? So if you throw out his worst year and you throw out his best year, he averages about 27-7. That's what his stat line is. And if he gives us that, that's better than what we have for a very long time. We'll take that. I think, honestly, if he can give us 27 touchdowns and 7 picks or 30 touchdowns and 10 picks or whatever it is, Washington's going to be in the playoffs. And I think that's what it comes
30
down to.
touchdowns?
That's what I'm saying. So, like if he can give us that, that'll be cool. And I think he doesn't have to be dominant. I think between all the different pieces that we added, I think we'll be okay. If he just gives us mid-level play and doesn't have any of these costly turnovers that I keep hearing about from you guys, that's basically what I think we'll be okay with. But honestly, our schedule really isn't too difficult this year too, so I think we do have an advantage there. But we'll see, man. I think that game is going to be awesome. I think it's funny. I know. So it's funny because basically, I have season tickets for the team, and I was trying to think of like an away game. I wanted to go to the 49ers game, but it's actually Christmas Eve, so I can't go to that. But I'm kind of tempted to go to Philadelphia. Like I know it's gonna be, dude. He's gonna walk into a hornet's nest, man. It's gonna be wild, crazy in there. And I mean, we'll see. I just hope he doesn't just blow up. But we'll see what's up, man. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, look, it could blow up on us too. He could go in there and throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns, and trying to stick it to the Eagle fans and management. I'm the guy. But let's talk about his.
Is that his first time returning to the league?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if he came from Indianapolis.
Yeah, we ain't play him yet.
Okay, cool.
So this will be the first time home and away that we play him this year. But let's talk about his, the guy that made him run out of town, and Jalen Hurts. Basically, Jalen Hurts, to me, Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts is in the same boat. Like you have a 1-year audition. Like if not, we're gonna move on from y'all next year because obviously I think that Washington is probably one solid quarterback away, and the Eagles is one quarterback away if Jalen Hurts don't work out this year. But because you don't put the pieces around him on offense and so far on defense, so now it's up to the quarterback. So I feel like that Carson Wentz, that if he's getting pushed in training camp because he's not look, whatever he said in his press conference, he's ready to compete. It's a lie. It's a lie. The reason why he ran out of Philadelphia was because they brought in Jalen Hurts for him, because he always was getting hurt. So obviously you need a good backup. Like Jalen Hurts was not supposed to be the starter. He wasn't supposed to be in this situation right now. Because of Carson Wentz, because his mindset, he felt like that. Hey, how dare you go get a quarterback to compete with me when, hopefully him being traded back-to-back seasons.
I think will humble him. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's our hope. I think in any situation, I'm not even just saying because I'm like a Washington fan. It's basically like, this is a perfect situation for him, right? He basically is like, dude, it's my last team. This is my last opportunity to become a starter. If I don't play well, I'm going to go to the bench. We have a character guy like Ron Rivera every coach has their own traits, right? Ron Rivera is not Sean Payton. He's not Andy Reid. He's not going to basically dial up these awesome plays, but he's more of a culture guy, a commitment guy. Like, I'm going to build behind you guys. So Carson Wentz is going to have support, and he has weapons around him. So I think he's set up for success. He should be okay. Our fan base might turn on Wentz halfway through the year because our fan base is kind of wild sometimes, but we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes down,
Well, he should be used to it because, Eagle fan base, we turn on you like this, but it is what it is. But at the same time, look, last year, though, Carson Wentz had the #1 rushing team. So you're talking about, you're not going to ask him to do much. He wasn't asked to do anything last year. You had, the #1 rusher on your team, a good offensive line, a good defense, and some people say he was the reason why they didn't make it to the playoffs. Who knows? But the games I saw him play, I'm like, oh my God, that's a Carson. I'm like, he's doing good the whole game, and then he's about to get sacked in the end zone, and he just throws stupid interception, pick six.
One thing I want to say though, real quick, just kind of being objective. The Colts offensive line really isn't that good. They had a great running offensive line, but not a great pass blocking offensive line. And Washington has a good pass blocking offensive line. And basically just talking to the beat guys and doing some research around here, Washington's going to move to more of like a 4 wide receiver set is what we're going to try to do. And hopefully we can spread people out and kind of, hopefully can kind of nitpick it and just be smart that way. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I heard he doesn't like check downs. So we'll see how that goes.
He doesn't like check downs. He's if you call the play, he will look at and then either try to force it, even if it's not there, or try to take off running or get off of it too soon. So he's not patient enough to wait for the play to develop.
I think the key to our team this year is going to be Jahan Dotson. I know it sounds wild as a rookie, but I just think like he's going to be playing the slot.
Jackson.
I'm telling you, like I think he's just going to eat. I think he's like McLaurin's going to do his thing. I think Curtis Samuel's going to do it. Curtis Samuel's going to be like a 700 guy, 700-yard guy, like 5-6.
If he's healthy,
a couple of runs, if he's healthy, he's more like he's doing more of that gadget guy. But I think Jahan Dotson's going to be like 3rd and 4, 2nd and 7. It's going to be like this. It's going to be feeding him. I can see Jahan Dotson like 50, 60 catches as a rookie because I just think first of all, I think he can do that, and I think it's part of his skill set too. I think Terry McLaurin's going to be more of like, and we'll see. I think it's going to be all like Terry McLaurin grinds, but I think Dotson's going to be more of that fast twitch win early kind of guy. So I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah, I think Anthony is living in the past because Kirk Cousins haven't been in the division in 5 years now. So I mean, hey, your take is outdated, Anthony. But go ahead.
Now, I was if Anthony's representing Washington, I got your back, Anthony. Go ahead, bro. I got you.
So let's talk about this guy right here. Look, there's a chance that he might not even be on the team. Who knows? He might hold out. He still might get traded. Who knows? Because this offseason, it's one thing that I've learned is unpredictable. Do not say, hey, I guarantee he's going to be on the team because the next thing you know, he's gone. So what is going on with Terry McLaurin contract? This is his 3rd year, right? His
fourth year. I guess we got drafted with Dwayne Haskins, and that was 2019. So I think it's his 4th year. I think it's his final year. So basically, if he doesn't, it is his 4th year. If he doesn't sign, he's going to be unrestricted free agent next year. We can franchise tag him, but he's going to be unrestricted free agent if we don't sign him. And I think we said like he has intangibles that basically he's going to get signed. There's no doubt in my mind. I know it sounds crazy to say, and Joe Castro and Vic and the Eagles circuit, they keep sending me messages like, we want McLaurin, and kind of talking shit about him leaving Washington. He's not leaving. Because not only is he good, he's kind of like he's our heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? He's what Washington is. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be surprised. You'll see how it all shakes out. Yeah. But he is look at our jersey rollouts, look at the release dates, look at all those different things. We market around Terry McLaurin, and he's the guy. He was a captain as a wide receiver, I think his 2nd year, and that's very rare. How many wide receiver captains do you know in the NFL? It doesn't really come around that much, and he's known for being outspoken and a good role model for our team. And I agree, Jahan is going to learn so much from Terry, and they're very similar personalities. I think that's why Ron picked him up too. So I don't think he's I think we're gonna have to overpay him. I think he's gonna be. We'll see. Definitely over $20 million for sure. I don't know if it gets to 25, 22, 23 million per year, but I think we're gonna have to do it. I think we're gonna have to eat it, and I think the way Washington should do it is come correct, man. Don't be low ball him and talk your way up. Just be flatter him. Thank you for doing all the work you've been doing for the past couple of years. We're gonna overpay you for who you are, and I think if Washington doesn't pay Terry McLaurin, who do they pay? That's what it comes down. That's who he is to us. You know what I'm saying? He's your Fletcher Cox, and I'm trying to think of other guys you're Jason Peters. He is that guy to us. He is that guy where when we lose by 21, they give him the mic yo, talk. You're we just had an embarrassing game. Go talk. He's the guy they roll out there. So if he leaves, I'd be very, very surprised by that. And I think he's doing his I think he wants to be here too. I know other A.J. Brown forced a trade, and other people are refusing to interact with their team. The Deebo Samuel taking all the 49er stuff off his IG and stuff like that.
Because that was after their team trying to lowball them with their contract offers, and that's what you just said. You better come correct.
Yeah.
And that's where you start losing, some trust with with the front office.
So Terry, basically, this is why Terry's built different, man. But he's a good dude, man. I think when we like him here in Washington, basically we had off season, not even OTAs, just off season meetings and stuff like that. He came to all of them, and basically I know other wide receivers around the league decided not to come. The same weeks, all that kind of stuff. He still came. His thing was, I'll come to all the meetings. I'll be there. I think it's important to be. He said this. I think it's important to be here for my teammates. However, I'm not going to go out there on the field during actual route running because I don't want to risk injury because I don't want to ruin my contract. That's smart business. So I'm not hitting on him at all for that.
Look, I hear you, but Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown. Let me see, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Amari Cooper. Who would have thought that all these guys would be leaving their current team and, force them way out or get traded? Who would have thought that? So that's what I'm saying. This offseason is nothing but predictable. It's so unpredictable who's going to go where. But look, if he does leave, I'm happy because I don't want to see him in the NFC East. But
he's our dude, man.
I'm telling. I had nobody else besides.
Now we got Johnson and Samuel, but he's that dude for us. And I think what makes you also confident is all the beat writers, all the insiders. They're he's getting signed. They basically are we've already heard things it's going down. We'll see. Until the pen hits the paper, you never know what the hell's going to happen. But it seems like it's going that direction.
Yeah, look, talking about a Terry, but hey, look, let's go to the draft. As far as your expectation going into the draft. What was your needs? What was your mock draft like? Who did you want in the draft? Did y'all get what y'all want? And do y'all think y'all team is better after the draft?
Yeah, so we'll talk about everything. So basically, going into the draft, there was a lot of talk of safety, linebacker, cornerback. We were sitting at 11, and we basically had a lot of different options, right? So I always wanted a wide receiver. For me, I'm happy Curtis Samuel's coming back, but I'm cutthroat, man. I'm business oriented. I'm dude, Curtis Samuel doesn't exist to me. He didn't play last year, so it's we can't be depending on him. We need to get a wide receiver. That's the way I looked at it, right? Sitting at 11, there was a lot of talk in DC. It was best player available. You can always get a wide receiver later. Adam's so dumb. Basically, we can get a wide receiver in the second round. People were talking about George Pickens at 47 and talking all that. And they were talking about Kyle Hamilton at 11, maybe Stingley at 11. People were kind of talking all that. I always wanted a wide receiver. George Carmy's mock draft, I wanted Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was my dude. Yeah. I liked Drake London a lot too. As late in the draft, I kind of like Drake London. And then we know for a fact that basically Ron Rivera liked Chris Olave. When he was available at 11, I was we're going to pick Chris Olave. That's what I thought was going to happen. But we traded back. We traded back from 11 to 16, and basically that's good and bad. For me, late in the draft cycle, I was Jameson Williams. I was you know what? He's recovering pretty quickly. He's at he's at ace in the hole. He might blow up and actually be that wide receiver we're going to be talking about in a couple of years. But I like it. I think we traded back from 11 to 16. We got a third and a fourth round pick, and we'll talk about them later on. We only had 6 picks going into the draft, so getting those extra 2 was a big deal. Getting that extra third helped us out with the Wentz trade, made it a little bit easier to swallow. And getting Jahan Dotson was pretty legit. I think on draft night, it kind of hurt a little bit. It was damn, we kind of reached for him a little bit because we kind of were maybe we could have got him early second round. But dude, wide receivers were flying off the board. I think there was 6 wide receivers in the first 18 picks or something crazy like that. And it was you had to jump on it and go for it. And now that I studied Dotson, or now that I know, I've heard, talked, understood who Dotson is, I see it because Washington, Rivera's big on. Washington's been kind of an immature team and caught up in the news kind of team for a minute. He's trying to get those dependable, respectable guys, and Dotson seems legit. Dotson seems like Terry McLaurin 2.0, man. I'm kind of pumped about that. So. Yeah, he is. Drake London is legit. So,
the only thing that confused me with y'all was because when y'all pick came up, right? and y'all traded with the Saints to move down. Y'all had your target. Y'all had Chris Olave was right there because the Saints, the team that y'all traded with, picked Chris Olave.
I think it was worst case.
I
think it was worst case scenario, bro. I think it was like they kind of had like 5 players that they were like, oh, you know, like if we get them at like one of them will be around 16. I think it's kind of what it came down to. It was like Olave, Jameson Williams, and then Kyle Hamilton. One of those guys will be. And the next 3 picks was Olave, Jameson Williams, Kyle Hamilton. Like bang, bang, bang. And they're like, oh crap! And they basically just took Dotson because they're like, all right, we gotta, that's kind of like, it was worst case scenario with the way that the picks went down. So, but I mean, I know some people in Washington circles, like in the front office, they like Jameson Williams, but some people also thought that he was kind of a risk with his ACL. So I don't know. So maybe they wouldn't have taken him if he was at 16. Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't see wide receiver like literally flying off the board this fast. Yeah. I did not see, because I thought that this draft, the first round, was going to be a defense heavy draft. With the corners and safeties and line and like linebackers and stuff like that. But the wide receivers, like they had like 8 wide receivers leave in the first round. I was like,
I saw it, dude.
That's crazy.
Like, I saw it pull up. I right for Full Press NFL. I had a mock draft, and the title of my mock draft was CBs and wide receivers going early and often. And I knew it was coming because like the Packers, the Chiefs, the Saints, Washington, all of us wanted wide receivers, so I knew they were going to fly off the board. And I felt like Washington fans were kind of arrogant trying to get one in the second round. Like, I mean, you could get you get one, but it's another tier. It's right below. Why do we? You don't want a mid wide receiver team. You know what I'm saying? You want to get someone good, So that's kind of where we're at. So I don't know.
So you watching the draft, and the Eagles, of course, they their first round pick at 13. They moved up from 15 to 13, right above the Ravens. They drafted Jordan Davis, big tackle out of Georgia. And then, hey, they had the 18th pick. You watching the draft, you see it come across the screen. Eagles have traded for AJ Brown. What went through your head at that point?
So I'm not even being a hater. I'm not even being a hater. I was being honest with you. I was like, all right, AJ Brown, that's all right. Like I don't think AJ Brown's as good as everyone thinks he is. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I think he's more like a bully wide receiver. He had like 800 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. I know he played 13 games. I mean, he's a solid player. Like, I think Terry McLaurin's better. Like, I think it's like when it looks at like 29, when it's always like DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin. Everyone like in Washington circles, they kind of like run their mouth like, oh, like McLaurin's the best. I think honestly, Metcalf's probably the best, and then it's McLaurin, then AJ Brown. I think Metcalf, he's very limited. He can't run routes like McLaurin can, but he's just that big wide receiver that's special and unique. It's like a Julio Jones type of player. So I was like, all right, good for him. I'm glad AJ Brown. AJ Brown's all right. Like, he's pretty good. And then I'm like, is Jalen Hurts going to throw it to him? That's kind of another thought that popped in my head. And it was kind of like, it's cool. I mean, like for me, it was like you guys had the opportunity, like with your so much draft capital, to completely renovate your team and completely change the face of your team. And like you could have got like a Treylon. Did Treylon Burks go before 18 or after 18?
He got traded for AJ. As a matter of fact, he went to the Titans.
But what pick though? Like, could you
18?
Him? Okay, because I was gonna say, okay, that's what happened. Because I was gonna say, like
But the whole thing with that is like, I mean, I think that that AJ Brown #1 is better than any wide receiver that's coming out the draft right now.
Okay, that's
true. He's
been
in the league for 3 years.
He's already established and all that.
Yeah, established. A Pro Bowl back-to-back before last year, 1,000 yards, a wide receiver, and he got those yards at a run-first offense. So to me, he's that dude that physicality, that DK Metcalf that you run, like that you want on your team. And imagine. Hey, you already got Devontae Smith, right? A young wide receiver. Yeah, exactly. So why are you trying to get a rookie wide receiver, but you need a veteran wide receiver? That's why the Eagles was trying to go after the Ridleys, the Allen Robinson, the Mike Williams.
It makes sense for y'all because you guys have thrown so many darts on rookie wide receivers and they haven't necessarily hit. So basically, just getting one that's already established is probably the right move. Like for me, being a football guy, it's like you had to pick 18. You could have got Treylon Burks, who's like AJ Brown mold, for a rookie contract for 5 years. You could have saved a lot of money, could have done different things. But like, if you guys are cool with your salary cap, I mean, I'm not familiar with your salary cap situation. Like, if you guys are okay with that, then you're good.
I just think if we had maybe a veteran quarterback, we might have just stick with the just drafting a rookie, or if we like you said hit the past couple of years drafting wide receivers in first round back to back, and we struck out. So that played a lot to do with it too. So I feel like that the Philadelphia Eagles, that Howie Roseman, some way somehow. And we extended him for 4 years, $100 million. So that means the same amount of contract that Terry might be getting, the $25 million, a year range. That's what he's probably going to be looking for.
100%. I think they're going to pay pretty much the same. The difference is that basically Terry, like, kind of grew up in the system and kind of knows the system. AJ Brown, we'll see if he fits in Philadelphia. We'll see what it is like. We know that McLaurin's wide receiver one. Like, who's going to be wide receiver one for y'all? Do you think it's going to be?
It's AJ.
To be AJ over.
Yeah.
Okay. Smith.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
cool.
AJ.
Okay.
Yeah, because like for a fact, and I love the report. Like him and Hurts, that's his best friend, by the way.
Okay.
Ever since college, Hurts was trying to recruit him to come to Alabama.
Okay.
But he went somewhere else, and
Miss,
they've been Ole Miss, and they've been keeping every offseason, every summer they work out together. So they kind of know each other.
That's
but
huge.
At the same time, the NFL is a different ball game, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, my best friend at the quarterback, it's not all peaches and cream. You know what I mean? Hey, imagine, look, I'm not going to say he's going to be a diva, because I think that AJ Brown.
Well, he's not. I don't see him as a diva.
Yeah, so a lot of people say, well, hey, how's he going to feel when he's not getting 1,000 yards or the ball is not coming to him because the Eagles are a run-heavy team? What? Well, at the same time, guess what? That's why they brought him here to open up the passing game. So do you think that we want to be a 80% run-heavy team? No. So I feel like that this year that teams are going to say, hey, let's stop the run. You know what I mean? Because, hey, that's Eagles, favorite, style of football. Let's try to stop the run and let's see if Jalen Hurts could beat us. Now you give him a veteran wide receiver to try to do that.
If your quarterback's running the ball, that's not a good thing. Like people if you do it like in scramble situations, you're kind of like breakdowns and run, that's solid. But like if you're depending on your quarterback to run the ball, like that's not a winning formula. I was trying to think about it today because I know I was jumping on the pod and I might being a hater and help me out. I don't know. Like, has a scrambling quarterback ever won the Super Bowl? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, no. Steve McNair was pretty solid. Like Russell Wilson, if you want to call him a scrambling.
And they lost by, but the McNair Super Bowl, like, I remember. That was my first Super Bowl I ever watched.
That was awesome. But it was like, Mike Vick never did it. Like Lamar Jackson, he has kind of maybe hit his ceiling a little bit. We'll see. I'm not sure. Like, he never that's why like Jalen Hurts, like more power. I actually like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good dude. I just don't know. Well, if you have a running quarterback, that's not what you want. You want somebody that can win in multiple ways. So I don't know. We'll see.
But see, East Coast said Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson was more of a passer than a runner. Yeah. He ran because his offensive line stunk. Mm-hmm. Like he was always running for his life. So that wasn't his.
Wilson. I see East Coast gridiron. Russell Wilson, like he came out with RG3 in 2012, and that was the rivalry. It was like RG3, Kaepernick, and Wilson. And I was like, dude, who do you like the best? And I hated Wilson because it was like the Seahawks Washington rivalry, and basically Wilson kind of grew with me over time. See, that's what I'm telling you. That's the narrative. I'm telling you right there. See, it's Terry, AJ, Metcalf. I think it's people get mad at me. I think it's Metcalf, Terry, AJ, but everyone I don't know. Terry's the best for me. Terry's the most well-rounded, but I think Metcalf has that special, he's a huge wide receiver, huge target, and he produces. AJ's all right. AJ, he's all right to me. I'm not trying to be a hater. At least he's like that, wide receiver. 15,
I think 17? Because okay. Yeah. So all right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. So rank the wide receivers, the number one wide receivers in the NFC East: Lamb, Terry, AJ, and I think a Galladay for the Giants.
For the division
rank,
and stuff?
Yes, only the division. Rank in order from first Well, from 1 to 4, who are the best wide receivers? Because I got to hear this.
Galladay is definitely the worst, right? Galladay didn't even score a touchdown last year. Galladay sucks, and I'm actually happy because I think Washington was looking at him a little before. I'd say, I mean, I hate to say it, like I love Terry McLaurin. In regard to explosiveness, probably CeeDee Lamb's number one, right? They probably put CeeDee Lamb number one, even though Terry has better stats than CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb is more explosive, and then Terry, and then probably AJ Brown. That's what I would do. And I was looking at wide receiver in groups, and it's like we have pretty good wide receivers in our division, man. Like you have Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins, and then you have AJ Brown. It's pretty solid, right? But, we have Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. That's pretty – I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, man. Hopefully Curtis Samuel will be all right. We have Diami Brown, too, if you know who that is. Diami Brown was a pretty explosive wide receiver for the Tar Heels with Sam Howell a couple years ago. And then the Cowboys got they have Gallup, Lamb, and they have, like, Washington, I guess, from the Steelers.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, James Washington. But Gallup, he's not even going to start the season, by the way. A Gallup.
Okay, torn ACL. So I'm saying, it's funny, and then
the Giants.
And the Giants. And they're trying to get rid of Kadarius Toney anyway. So it's kind of like
they drafted last year.
Yeah, and they're trying to get rid of him. So it's like who knows who has the best wide receiving group? I think we'll talk about the division. I think it's going to be me, you, Washington, Eagles, and Cowboys, and it's going to be health and winning at the right time, and it's whatever. I think all of us are going to kind of hover around like 10 wins. Like I think like the Cowboys are going to take a step back. I think the Cowboys kind of overrated from last year. I think Washington will go a little bit better because last year, we were doing all right. And the end of the year, this COVID just got rocked. And then the Eagles, I'm curious, man. I think you guys got better, but at the same time, it's like Eagles are kind of like the 2020 Washington team. I was like, you guys beat up on Fromm and Garrett Gilbert and the Jets. You guys won 9 games against a pretty weak schedule last year. We'll see. You guys have the number 2 schedule now, so we'll see how that affects you guys a little bit more. We'll see.
All right, so hey, since we want to talk to schedules, all right, let's jump on the schedule real quick because I know that the schedule came out. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at the schedule yet, but
our schedule, not your guys. I'm not sure about yours.
Yeah, your schedule actually. Let me try to pull it up real quick. But I will pull up your schedule. I'm just curious. Just looking at your schedule, how do you feel like, man, how y'all gonna do this upcoming season?
I think we have a lighter schedule than we have. Like last year, we had a pretty tough one. I guess a lot of the NFC East teams have pretty similar schedules anyway, right? But last year we had Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady. We had basically Lamar Jackson. We basically had almost every top quarterback in the league. I think we legitimately had the hardest schedule in the league last year because we had the number one. We were in the divisions. We had the number 1 seed, draft. We had number 1 schedule, and then basically things just kind of went down for us. This year, I think we're going to be okay. I've heard a lot of things. I can see us winning 10 games this year. 10-7 isn't too crazy. In a 17-game season, 10 wins is not crazy, right? And it's kind of So it's I can see that. Let me look at the order real quick. You have the preseason games here too.
But we are going to go through it. So the first game is at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the first September 11th. So do you see that as a win or a loss?
I can see that as a win. I can see. I think the NFL did us a favor there. I think they're you know what? The Commanders, new name. They want to get us on the win on the right side. Got to get some fans. We're playing we're the Jaguars won 5 games over the last 2 years. So I think they'll be better because Doug Peterson's the coach now, but I think we can still get the win, I think.
All right. So now, hey, let's go to the Lions. A win or loss?
That's another dub, man. The Lions.
So y'all 2-0, man. Y'all 2-0. Okay. Cruising into All right, now Philly come to town, win or loss.
Now this is the stretch, right? So basically, I've done this before. Week 3 through 10 is this is going to make or break our season. You're previewing all the fans watching. Look at that schedule; it doesn't get easy. I think we'll probably be underdogs from week 3 to 10. To be honest with you, right? I'll say let's do this, right? Eagles will probably, I mean, you guys might get 2-0. We might split, but for the sake of this exercise, I'll give us the home win here. So 3-0.
So y'all 3-0. Oh my God.
Okay.
Hey, book them to the Super Bowl. They are 3-0. All right. So all right, let's go to the Cowboys. Hey, y'all owe them an ass whooping. Hey, y'all going to Jerry World. What is going on with that game?
We're gonna get unfortunately, we're gonna get smashed by the Cowboys. Cowboys whooped their ass last year, man. I hate I went to the home game. We were down like 20-0 before we could even blink. And then the second game of the season, they smashed us again. I mean, Michael Parsons was a menace. I mean, we'll see, man. So I'll take the L there. Well,
so
we're gonna lose one. We're gonna lose at least one of these, the Eagles and the Cowboys. So I'll take the Cowboys L here.
All right. So now Titans.
Titans.
At home, by the way. So
Titans at home. I'm not scared of them, but I mean, I got to respect them too. And I don't think Washington's going to be a 4-1 team. Like, I've been around long enough to not kind of hype up ourselves too much. So I'll take the L here. So 3-2?
Yeah, 3-2. And now you go to Chicago.
We'll beat the Bears. I think we can beat the Bears. So we'll be 4-2 here.
So 4-2. Now the Packers come to town.
Aaron Rodgers, man, he's gonna whoop our ass. So Aaron Rodgers is gonna come in and do really good. So we'll see there. So that's 4-3 there.
4-3 there. All right. So and then the Colts.
So the Colts is going to be an interesting game. I think we play in Indianapolis, and it's funny because that's kind of like a rivalry game now too, where it's like Carson Wentz.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all like Irsay was talking trash about our team and all this kind of stuff. So, Washington. We're 4-3. Like, we're gonna split one of these two wins, and what I'm gonna do just for between Colts and Commanders, I'm gonna take the L against the Colts, so we'll go 4-4.
So 4-4, okay. And
I think Kirk Cousins coming back into DC. He's gonna choke against us, so I think we'll be 5-4 there.
5-4.
The Vikings are legit though, man. They're a good team, but I think Kirk Cousins, whatever. We'll that whatever.
So you 5-4 right now, and then now the Eagles, at Philly. I think is a Monday night game, whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be messy, man. We're gonna get our ass kicked on the Monday night game. That's why I took the win earlier, because I was like, I'm hoping we win one of them. I don't think it's gonna be this one. That one will feel good. I'm not gonna lie. If we win that one, that's gonna feel really good. Like we have 3 big games here. We have Thursday night football against the Bears, Monday night football against y'all. Then we have Christmas Eve against the 49ers. So that's kind of where we're at right there. So
right now you 5-5 right now. So if you lose to Philly, you 500.
So that's the good thing. If we can get out of all that 5-5, they're going to be all right. We're going to beat the Texans 6-5.
Okay, that's 6-5.
Beat the Falcons
7-5. The
beat
Giants 8-5. The Giants back to back. Oh my God!
So it goes Giants bye week Giants. So we can be conservative. We'll lose one against the Giants. How about that? 8-6, right?
8-6. Then the 49ers.
Then we're going to lose to the 49ers 8-7.
8-7.
Okay.
Then the Browns. Deshaun Watson is there. The Browns.
So that's going to be so the Browns are actually legit now. I mean, they're good. Oh man, but the Browns are the Browns, man. I don't believe in the Browns. You're going to give it an L. All right. Well, we can do this. All right. Well, yeah, whatever. All right. So the Browns.
So you 8-8 if you lose to the Browns.
We're 8-7. So I don't know, man. What, dude? Screw the Browns. We're gonna win against the Browns. So 9-8 or whatever, 9-7, right? And then basically the Cowboys, they'll probably be resting their starters or something. We'll figure that out. So 10-7.
Resting their starters? What, man? So wait, you think the Cowboys are going to be 11-6 or something? Like 12-5?
I don't know. So I think
resting.
I think Washington's going to be like 9-8. I see them 9-8, 10-7. It's kind of where I'm at.
So is 9-8 good enough to make the playoffs?
I think so, man. I think they are. I think
who's not going to make the playoffs in the NFC East? Because ain't no damn way. Hey, wait, 3 teams are coming out of there.
They can't. In theory, they can, man. So that's what they really. I mean, it could. So let's talk about. But hold on. Let's talk about it though. You're right though. If you actually look at it on paper. Let's talk about it, right? So let's say who's going to win the West, right? The West is going to be the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Rams going to win. Okay. Yeah, the North is going to probably be the Packers, right?
The Packers.
All right. Then the South is going to be the South's trash, right?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. Okay. And then the East is going to be, let's say, Cowboys or y'all,
No.
right? Or me.
All right, let's just say, all right, boom, a winner. Okay, one winner. All right.
Okay, so now 4. We have 3 more, right?
Yes, 3 more.
So the Vikings are probably going to take one, right?
The Cardinals, maybe the 49ers, the Cardinals, the 49ers.
Yeah, so one of them, right? So then it's only going to be 2 teams in the NFC East that are going to get in there. It's crazy. I don't know, man. We'll see what's up. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Man.
I don't know. The thing is this, right? Like, I think the Giants, Eagles, Cowboys are all in the same level. I really do. I mean, you probably think the Commanders are below y'all or something like that. But I feel like we're all the same level. It's going to all depend on how it shakes out in the field, right? Like, if Wentz plays well, the Commanders are going to go to the playoffs, right? If Hurts plays well, the Eagles are going to go to the playoffs. Is there a chance he gets benched this year?
Who Hurts? No.
Because
they have to see what they have. Yeah, absolutely. Because look, Hurts had almost 1,000 rushing yards last year, 10 touchdowns, right? You can't throw that away. Yeah. And then he had he threw for over 3,100 yards. Of course, he had, I think, 16 touchdowns and 9 picks. But those 9 picks, 3 of them was in 2 games apiece. Like he literally threw 3 interceptions in 2 games. So to me, I feel like that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie say, hey, we're going to give you this year. The worst case scenario, next year we have 2 first-round picks. It seems like a deja vu all over again with me and you. I'm like, man, Eagles got 3 first-round picks. There's no way they use all 3 first-round picks. If I was the Eagles, I'd ship 1 to next year and do all that. Exactly what they did. Yeah, have that security. Smart so absolutely. So now I feel like that Jalen Hurts with the new weapon, and if you follow Hurts throughout his career, like he's always improved. Even from Alabama, he went to Oklahoma, was a Heisman runner-up. He came into the NFL. His first 4 games, he beat the number 1 Russian, number 1 defense in the Saints, and then had a shootout against the Cardinals. Had a meltdown against the Cowboys when we was up 16, 17 something. They came back, and in the last game against y'all, which really didn't mean anything. So, and in the following season, of course, and a lot of people say Hurts, but to me, that was his official first year starting, number 1. Number 2, new coach, new system, a young quarterback. Why are you – if you're Nick Sirianni, why in the hell would you come out throwing the ball 30, 40 times the first 6, 7 games? Why would you think that? Because Nick Sirianni been waiting his whole life to call plays, and he was going to take – he was not going to be shut down by anybody. Look, I've been waiting my whole young life to be calling plays. I'm going to call plays the way I see fit until he had to take a step back and realize that, hey, I got a young quarterback here. Our team is good at this and this. So let's change the philosophy. And now, boom, that's where he started throwing more touchdowns. Devontae Smith was he started getting his yards after we started running the ball. So why didn't you start that to begin with? So now we don't know how good Jalen Hurts could have been. Honest truth, because he started so young and just throwing the ball and kind of screw up the season, and then we're trying to save it. But yeah, look, I say whoever have the better quarterback play. But at the same time, though, defense-wise, how did y'all finish this season last year as far as defensive ranking?
So bad. I think we were I think we were 20th in the run and 32nd or something in pass. We were real bad in with our pass defense. And I think that's kind of we'll see. I think it's going to kind of regress back to the norm. I think because the year prior, in 2020, we were number 2 overall. We were the number 2 overall defense, and then we dropped down to 20th in the second year. But then again, we went from playing trash quarterbacks to legitimately I'm not being funny. Look at the 9 of the top 10 quarterbacks you played last year. So it was we played the best of the best last year. So what's going to happen? I think we'll see. It's all about Chase Young, man. Chase Young, is he going to be a bust of the number 2 overall pick, or is he going to get us 12, 13 sacks? We'll see how that all plays out. He tore his ACL last year. Is Jamin Davis going to take a step up? Is Montez Sweat going to be, last year was a mess. I hope people kind of get that context. It was Montez Sweat's like brother died like week 10 or 12, and they didn't play the rest of the year. Then Chase Young basically tore his ACL. Logan Thomas tore his ACL, who's the kind of, was our big tight end. Taylor Heineke started all, Ryan Fitzpatrick was down, out for all year long. It's like things didn't go to plan for Washington. We still won 7. So that's kind of where our mentality is. Like we were 7-10 with a tough schedule, with crap not going our way. We got better. So we should be, 9-10 wins this year. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and then don't forget COVID hit y'all too, like really, really bad. And I had the whole quarterback, hey, like literally off the streets. Hey, you playing tomorrow? Come here, hey, could you throw? All right, come try out. Like
Patriots practice squad on like Sunday and like starting in the NFL on Tuesday. It was like, and then y'all were talking, y'all were mad about that. You're like, why are we moving the game? Like, what the hell's going on?
But the whole thing was this. I'm like, come on, man, your whole team got it. Hey, we don't want to catch it because then it's like a snowball effect,
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, we all are fans, emotional. And stuff like that. So in the beginning, I'm like, oh, come on. It's their fault.
Yeah.
Forfeit. Give us the win. Let's move on. But then, like a day or two later, like, all right, just calm down because you would not want that to happen to your team, especially because everybody thought this one player that wasn't vaccinated is the one that started this whole thing, right? That's what the rumors. So, we was blaming, it's your fault. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even that, so.
It was tough because we played, I don't know if you saw, we played 5 division games to end the season. And I think we were like 7-6 or something. It was like, if we just win 2 of the next 4, we go to the playoffs. We lost all 4. That's how we ended the year. So we kind of have a bad taste in our mouth, but hopefully it'll all shake out.
And y'all were up on Philly double digits both times y'all played us.
I thought something special was going to happen. That game with Garrett Gilbert was like we were. I think like Lennon Collins had a crazy pick off the guy's heel, like for a touchdown or something else. It was wild. I was like, what's happening right now? But it was, whatever. It worked out. Yeah. Pull up your schedule. I want to see your schedule before we wrap it up for the day. I want to see what
all right. So fine. If you want to see how easy our schedule is, I'll pull it up. But right now, look, Dallas got the easiest schedule, which to me, I don't understand how, because they do play the Bucks, they play the Packers, they play the Bengals. So how is that the easiest schedule? So I don't understand. And then the Vikings, but they play the Vikings also. So I don't see how they got the easiest schedule. But hey, somebody said that they had the easiest schedule. So, and then y'all, and then us, and I think the Giants. All right, so this is the Eagles record. All right, so we open up, we go on to Detroit. Hey, who knows? Like, I'm not gonna give my prediction. I'm just gonna let you know it's a good game because I feel like
drop the W now. I want to hear what's going on. What's what you have right?
All right. Let's see. www. 17-0 Super Bowl. It's like no. Okay, so look, at Detroit, I feel like we was the only team that destroyed Detroit last year because we found something last year in the running game at Detroit. So why not go back to the scene of the crime and continue, a whatever it was. So I mean, I think that's a win. Monday Night Football, week 2, the Vikings come. I think it's going to be too much for the Vikings. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles fans, Jalen Hurts, I mean, it's going to be crazy. We get that win. The Washington, the Philly fans travel. Hey, I'm going to be there. Carson Wentz first game against the Eagles. I said that we pulled off. I think we pulled that game off. So now we're 3-0 Jacksonville, and I think we pulled that off also. Hey, we
so
starting
the NFC
off.
East may be like 10-0 the first 4 weeks. It's gonna be awesome.
Look, I think that we pulled that off. So now we're 4-0. And then the Cardinals, we are catching them at the perfect time, right? No Hopkins. He suspended the first 6 games. No Christian Kirk. They do have Zach Ertz and Hollywood Brown. They lost Chris Edmond, their running back. A Kyler Murray, who knows what type of Kyler Murray. I think we win that game too. So right now we're 5-0. And Dallas, we owe them an ass whooping from last year. I think we win that one too. So now we're 6-0. And then we go into the bye week. This is where we get our first loss out of the bye week. At home, Pittsburgh. It's a good rivalry, but we get our first loss. We rebound and beat the Texans, and I believe that Carson Wentz. Oh my God, he comes to Philly with a shocker. Man, I could see the field goal, like fourth quarter with no time left. Who's y'all kicker?
Well, who do we got? We have
Hopkins. Is it Hopkins?
It's Joey Sly. We got a new kicker this year. He's a Panther. Man. Joey Sly.
Yeah.
He's actually
I don't want to.
Yeah, Panther. He's a former Panther. That's why.
I don't want to do it, but Carson Wentz take an L. We sweep Washington. Sweep Washington.
All right.
So now what? We lost one game so far. We are heading into week 11. We lose to the Colts. So now we are 8-2. Yeah, 8-2. We lose to Green Bay, 8-3. We lose to the Tennessee Titans, 8-4, and then we beat the Giants, 9-4. We beat Chicago, 10-4, and Dallas. Since we beat them earlier, we lose to them now. So now we're 10-5, right? Yeah, 10-5. The Saints, we own the Saints, 11-5, and then we sit our guys for the Giants, so I'm going out 11-6.
All right, interesting. Okay, cool.
So I'm going out 11-6, but like I said, like the off season is not over yet.
Yeah,
one player could give us one more win. Bradbury. That's one more win. The same thing for y'all. If y'all get Bradbury, he might give y'all one extra win. You never know. So
I found it's not who you play, it's when you play them, right? So you actually brought up a good point with DeAndre Hopkins. Like having him being out, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say like Aaron Rodgers is out that game against the Packers, going to win that. Who knows? That's why it's fun to do 17-0. Yeah, good for y'all, man. That'd be awesome. It'd be great. Well, basically, yeah. It's just a. You never know what's going to happen. That's why it's fun to talk about it, but who knows what the hell's going to happen. So we'll see what.
Yeah. Especially, you know what? I mean, I'm going to give a whole new record prediction. That will be my final record prediction once the offseason is over with. One training camp is here. Once everybody's signed or cut, I can see who's on the team, and then I'm going to give my final prediction. And I think I'm going to be right on. But 11-6. I mean, who knows? Look, we won 9 games last year, with a dysfunctional first 6 games. We had, you're talking about, y'all had a tough run the first half of y'all season. We had a tough run too. We finished soft, but we had the first game was against the Falcons. I mean, it is what it is. And we pumping our chest. And then we had San Fran lost, Dallas murdered, the Bucks, Kansas City, the Panthers in there. So our first 6 game was pretty, tough for us. And, we survived somehow. We was 2-5, 2-5, dead in the water. And then something clicked at Detroit. And then we started running and then we started winning. So we was one of the, second team in the whole NFL that started 2-5 and made the playoffs. 2-5, not 2-4, but 2-5. And made the playoffs. So, that's something to hang your hat on,
Yeah, man.
But look, man, we about to get out of here, man. Any last word, man? I know I'm going to have you on, especially before week 3. And I might see you at the game. So who knows? But definitely any last words, where they could find you at, what you're working on and stuff like that.
No, man, I appreciate it. It's very good talking shop with you, man. Definitely hour and 20 minutes. Felt like 5 minutes. It's good talking to you, man. It's good stuff, man. So I'm George Carmi at gcarmi21. I work for Full Press NFL. I write for Full Press Coverage, which is a local, it's a national site, but I write for the Commanders. Basically, I have a couple podcasts coming up this week talking about the draft. I have a couple articles talking about our draft class. That'd be pretty cool. And hit me up anytime, man. I'm here for NFL. I'm here for all football talk, and JC will definitely catch up again sometime soon for sure, even on my pod. You're cool, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, for those of you who are Eagles fan, man, hey, just go check this guy out, man. He is one of the realest, Commander fans. I don't say this a lot, but there are a lot of homers out there. But you keep it real, man. I check you out on Twitter all the time. We be hitting each other up on Twitter. So I do follow your work. So I do appreciate you being I guess you can't be a homer when you write for, and when your job is to be non-biased, right? You can't be a homer, you know. So that's what's good about. I love to bring people on that actually write for teams. So now you could get a realistic, you know, take the fan out and tell me what you're writing about, you know, what's going on. So I like that.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you, man.
So, hey, all right. So, hey, look, hey, make sure y'all hit that like button, man, that subscribe button, man, on the road to 2K. And as always, go Birds.